Hi guys, Mike here, Professional Security Journal. Um, this is a video that I was very hesitant on making, and I've been hemming and hawing it in my head the last couple of days. But multiple friends have reached out to me on Snapchat and Facebook and what have you. I have had multiple of my friends push me to make this video. So, hi, I'm going to give my take on what happened 2 days ago. Now, disclaimer here. I am a nobody's security guard. I have zero executive protection experience. I have zero experience with long guns. My experience lies in handguns and handguns only. So, with that being said, I'm going to talk about certain aspects, certain snippets of that incident. I'm going to ignore the counter sniper team. I'm going to ignore anything revolving around rifles or what have you. Again, that's not my forte. That's why I just laid out that disclaimer there. My caveats here are going to be what I have seen on LinkedIn. I had to choose my words on the fly there. What I have seen, what I have read, and the arguments I've participated in on various social media platforms. So, I will be looking at my phone for the next couple of minutes as I talk and what have you, because I'm just going to draw on arguments that I've participated in. So while I'm basically more or less looking through my phone, looking for the first thing, I want to talk about the very famous part of the incident that everybody's talked on about. Oh, the female agent fucked up on her holstering. Ha ha ha. I give her props in certain aspects. I do agree with the concept of you should be on point 24/7, especially when you're, on a detail like that. That detail, no pun intended, that detail requires a high degree of high level details. You have to be on point, simply put, when you're guarding a POTUS or a former POTUS in Trump's case. Because, fun fact for those of you who aren't aware, even formers get a detail. Obviously, it ain't going to be the A team. The A team is reserved for current POTUS, the incumbent. Maybe the B team or the C team, maybe the Bravo or Charlie team. But you still get agents on you as a former. So I don't know what degree of training, you get if you're guarding the incumbent versus the former, but I do know for a fact when you are a United States Secret Service Special Agent at the James J. Riley Training Facility, when you are at your basic Secret Service Academy, everybody in basic training gets Protect E training. I know that for a fact because I was going to about 2 3 years ago. I was actually going for the Secret Service Uniform Division, and I went as far as the interview, and they liked me in the interview. I was actually about ready to go through the top secret investigation process, and that's when I backed out. Is when we were talking about clearances, and I'm like, hey, I have I have certain things on my credit that I don't feel are up to par. So the 1811, the suit and tie special agents that were conducting my interview actually shook my hand and said, "We respect the fuck out of you for doing that. Thank you." So I more or less bowed out. I bowed out of the Uniform Division's recruiting process. So let's say I did go to the Uniform Division. For all I know, that could have been me on that roof. The counter sniper teams are UD agents. They're the uniformed agents you'd see walking around the White House. That is a special detail that the UD, the Uniform Division, has within the grander sphere of the Secret Service. Those Uniform Division agents are travel agents that travel with the detail. But yes, the CS teams, the counter sniper teams, are those big ass long precision rifles. Um, They're UD agents. But anyways, again, I said I wouldn't go to rifles. Um, so yes, the very famous female agent that we all know and love. Um, I do give props to her for more or less she tried she tried holstering and she just said fuck this, and she stood at the motorcade, she stood at the doors with her gun out because she figured to hell with it. I'm gonna keep it out and I'm gonna keep scanning. Good on her for that part, to be honest, because there's a long drawn debate my entire time in security, and apparently it's been even before I entered the security community, before I entered this career. There's been a long drawn out aspect of, oh, you need to keep your eyes on target. Don't look your gun in the holster. Fuck that. Look your gun in the holster. Because if I'm sitting here holstering, I want to make sure there's nothing in or near that holster. So I say, look the bitch in. Fuck what anybody tells you. I don't care if it's some high degree instructor at frickin' Gunsight or whatever that tells you keep your eyes on target as you're holstering. Fuck that. Look your gun in the holster, make sure there's nothing near the holster. That is a hill I will die on. That is something I will argue. Look your shit in. So, and then there's, the fine and gross motor skill debate, blah blah blah, but I'm talking about firearms. I'm talking about holstering. So good on her for realizing that and saying, fuck it, I'm gonna keep the gun out. Because if the scene is hot, you don't need to fucking holster your gun. Your gun gets put away when the scene goes cold, and it's all, to use cringy terms here, you holster when it's code 4. You holster when the scene is cold. You holster when the scene has no more threats. And if there's even the slightest inkling of a hot scene, if there's even the slightest inkling of more threats, you keep that shit out. So I realize her thing was not what I'm talking about. Her thing was, I'm trying to holster without looking, and she kept like fishing the gun, she kept looking for the holster, she kept looking for her holster with her weapon, and she just said fuck this and kept it out. Good on her. Now I'm not defending anybody in this incident by any means. It was a massive blunder, a massive fuck up by the service, don't get me wrong, but there was some good out of it, and you have to give, I always say, I give people the benefit of the doubt. Yes, they should be on point, but but you can't at the same time. You can introduce adrenaline into training, but you can only introduce so much adrenaline into training within a high stress training environment. Like, let's take a look at my incident for an example. I have experience being shot at. I have experience with adrenaline up the motherfucker. Route 91 survivor. I was there that country festival night in 2017 in Las Vegas. I have been shot at. Without body armor, without protection that those agents were afforded, by the way. I could have lost my life that night. So, yeah, I do give that agent credit. Now, don't get me wrong. I've been on Facebook and I've been on LinkedIn and I've been on several other things um the last 2 days about, like, oh, she was a DEI hire, she was a diversity hire, and oh, rabble rabble. Um, I'm not commenting on any of that. Um, Now I will say I don't think she was, choosing my words. I don't think she was. Let's just say her body type should not. Her body type was not what I would expect of a Secret Service agent on a POTUS or former POTUS detail. I'll say it like that. You can do with that what you will. Her body type was not what I would expect. But I do give her credit. When she blundered her holster, she kept her weapon out and she kept scanning for threats. Sorry. So there was some good there were some good moments out of this, But even if you're not some super secret cool guy, secret squirrel fucking EP agent with an ego up the wazoo, because I swear to God, every EP agent I've ever talked to on Reddit or whatever, every EP agent I've talked to has like the biggest fucking ego imaginable. Even if you're not some super secret cool guy, private security EP agent, um, there are some takeaways here for regular private security guards. I do transit security now, guys. I do transit security. So even for me, looking in this incident, I took several takeaways and several things within this incident have more or less reinforced things that I've long held as facts and beliefs, i.e., the whole you should be looking your gun into the holster. And you should not be looking your gun into the holster until the scene is cold because you need to actually look the gun in. If the scene is hot, if there's more threats, fuck holster and keep that shit out. You should not be going for your holster until the scene is code 4. Until there are no more threats, until the scene is cold. Especially if you already have your weapon out and you're sitting here taking the extra second or two to look the gun in. No, if you think there's more stuff to come, keep it out. Um, so yeah, I may or may not make another secondary add-on video to this, but this is more or less my take on 45's incident. This is my take on Trump's incident as it stands right now. As I'm kind of thinking on the fly here as I'm talking. Yeah, this was my Secret Service video. Again, we ignored the counter sniper part. We ignored the rifle part. I have zero experience in long guns. I don't want to speak on shit I'm ignorant in. That's a personal rule I have with myself in anything that I do. That's something I've always, ever since I've been in the workforce, that's a belief I've held. If I don't know about it, I ain't gonna speak on it. So we ignored the counter sniper. We ignored the rifle talk in this video. I have zero experience with long guns myself. My entire time in security, it's been nothing but a handgun. So I spoke to the female agent, um, and that was really it. So, so yeah, that's really all I have. Again, I may or may not make a secondary add-on video to this, but without further ado, this is my professional security journal. You guys stay safe, take it easy out there, take pride in what you do in your particular positions and in the profession as a whole. Stay situationally aware, stay vigilant, and other than that, I'll see you guys next video. I'm actually going to stop recording this one and go into the next video. I kind of want to touch base with you folks. So other than that, see you soon. This is Mike here at TPSJ. I'm out.